Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I am JB in the cage. On my side, once again, on the other side, the man you want to talk to, A.J. Ellis, catcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, will be fielding your questions. A.J., how you doing today?
JB, what's going on, man? Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. I know fans are fired up. The app, which is the MLB Fans app, has tons of questions already. That's where you can get your device fans fired up so you can talk to AJ directly. In the meantime, I will use social media. Twitter, the hashtag is ChattingCage. That's how you get that. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the MLB Fans app, and I will read this question. And there's a couple about them, so we'll see how this plays out. Have you met Ted, is this avatar. AJ, how excited were you when you first got to meet Vin Scully?
Oh, wow. What a legend. Somebody you grew up listening to as a baseball fan. I think my first baseball memory is of Vin calling Kirk Gibson's Game 1 walk-off home run in the 1988 World Series. So, he's been a part of baseball, not just for the Dodgers, but for all the entire sport, for the last, 50 years. So it's Vin Scully synonymous with baseball and just his voice, the way he describes the action. It's legendary, and it's in a class all by itself. So to get to meet him personally, when I was called up to the big leagues in 2008, just a very brief hello. That was a moment I'll never forget. And then as our relationship's grown over the years, it's been just one of the special things about being a Dodger.
What was it like catching the no-hitter from Clayton Kershaw?
Oh, man. That was back in June of 2014. Just a special night, and it's just the outs and just kind of just mounting, and the way he was throwing the ball that night, you just knew something special could possibly happen. He was locked in from the first pitch. I talk about when catching Clayton. There's times when he'll have, his A+ slider, but maybe like his B or B minus curveball, or maybe his A+ curveball and a B or B minus slider. That night, both the curveball and slider were both A+, and as soon as he got a strike on somebody. It was almost the at-bat was over because he had all of his weapons working, and, he just got stronger and stronger as the game went along, managed his pitch count so well, and it was just so surreal and just an amazing moment to be out there in the ninth inning, finishing that off, and then going out and celebrating with him.
Absolutely one of the great games in Dodger history there. That's A.J. Ellis on the catching Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter. I go back to the MLB Fans app, and we'll stay in the theme of catching great pitchers. Dave the Brave wants to know, AJ, how ugly is Kenley Jansen's cutter? Does it look really filthy to a batter?
Yeah, it's one of those invisible fastballs, that kind of gets on top of the hitter. You get that late action. It's just kind of a natural cut with the way he throws, ways the ball comes out of his hand, and when he throws that thing right, it's just one of those pitches that the hitter swings through and takes a look back at me and can't believe that it went past their bat and ended up in my glove. So when he throws that thing right, which he does a lot more than he doesn't, it's a game over for us, and it's why he's become one of the elite closers in our sport, and a big reason why we've had the success we've had over the years.
Absolutely. There you have a great answer from AJ on catching Kenley Jansen's nasty cutter, which is going to be one of those pitches we all watch for years to come in that ninth inning, shutting things down. Another fan and his ceiling is with us now. There he is. What's your name? What's your question for AJ?
Hey, I'm Mauricio Palmer from Maryland, and I've got to ask, what was better? Which pitcher would you like to catch before you retire?
What pitcher would I like to catch before I retire? That's a really good question. Man, there's so many good ones out there in our game. Oh, man. I'll tell you who I want to catch before I retire. I want to catch whatever pitcher is going to be on the mound in the last game of a World Series when I catch the final out and get to go out there and give him a big hug. So whoever that is, could be somebody I know already, could be somebody I haven't met yet, but whoever that pitcher is, that's the guy I want to catch.
AJ, well said. That's one of the best answers I've heard to many questions from fans right there. And that is a beautiful answer, man. And I know many catchers who would agree that's the best. That is the best pitcher they've ever caught. That guy, whoever that happens to be.
Yep.
Outstanding. There is a question on social app, and I'm going to go. It's a follow-up. Maybe this broaden the scope a little bit instead of the active guys. Is there a pitcher in MLB? Who's this from? Goldie Snake. Is there a pitcher in MLB history you would have liked to caught, and if so, why?
Well, I'm pretty biased being a Dodger, so we'll stay in that Dodger family for sure. And one of the great things about being the Dodger is all the legends that you get to see, in spring training or throughout the course of the season. And I have two living legends who I've gotten to spend a lot of time with, have built a relationship with, who you still see their competitiveness, you still see their greatness, even years and years after they retired. And that's Don Newcomb and Sandy Koufax. To be able to spend time with those guys, learn from them, hear about how the game was played for Don back in the 50s and Sandy in the 60s, and go back and look at some of their, the back of their baseball cards and how dominant they were, the accolades they had, both, individually and then as teammates with the World Series championships. It'd be awesome to kind of get back in Doc Brown's time machine, that flying DeLorean, and go back and go catch some Dodger games from the 50s and 60s.
Two great, absolutely great pitchers in Dodgers history, in baseball history, and they would be phenomenal to catch. Amazing legends who are still a big part of the Dodgers' life. This is the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. That's AJ Ellis, and some fans are with us. There they are. What's your name? What's your question for AJ?
Hi, my name is Mike Zimmer. I'm here with my son, Colezimmer, and he wants to know what fundamentals he should work on with trying to be a catcher, and then he also wants to make sure that AJ knows that he's his favorite player.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Cole. That means a lot. I really appreciate those. Having somebody like Cole out there watching me play and likes the way I play the game. That's the ultimate compliment I can get from somebody. Someone wants to play the game like I do. But, I think for me, starting building blocks for being a solid catcher, it's kind of even more than catching a ball or blocking a ball or throwing a ball. It kind of starts with, what kind of teammate you are, how you carry yourself amongst your teammates, what kind of leader you are, how unselfish you can be. Being a catcher is such an unselfish position. You have to care more about your pitchers than you care about yourself. It's more important to catch a good game than it is to have a lot of hits in a game, because at the end of the game, winning the game and having fun are the things that are the most important, for us. The other thing is, kind of along the same lines as when you're back there behind the plate, is controlling your body language. You're the only person on the field that all 8 of your teammates look at on every single pitch. So I tell young catchers all the time, you have to, set the mood for your team. When it's time to be energetic, you're energetic. You show a lot of energy behind the plate. When things are going bad, pitcher might be walking some guys or giving a lot of hits. You can't show that. You have to be positive and create that energy, because your teammates are always looking at you and they're always feeding off you behind the plate. So for you, Cole, I'd start with those first. I feel like, be a good teammate, have great body language when you play the game the right way. And the fundamentals are things that we can work on as we go along.
Great answer from AJ Ellis to a young fan, Cole, and his father, Mike, as they discuss being fans of AJ, but also what the fundamentals are. And really great points on the drills aren't it. Sometimes it's bigger stuff than that. Another fan who's fired up is in the cage. What's your name? What's your question for AJ?
Hi, my name is Leo. I'm from San Antonio. And my question is, who's the first person you told that when you got called up to the major leagues?
Who was the first person I told? Is that was the question?
Yes, that's the question.
Yeah, I definitely the first phone call. Definitely the first, person I was with my wife. My wife Cindy, who's been with me every step of the journey. Since we got married in 2005, we've kind of came up together, through the steps, and we're definitely a team and a partnership. I couldn't do this without her, so she was definitely the first person I told. She was right there with me when I got the phone call. And then, of course, I had to call my parents, and specifically my dad, who, from a little age, was the guy who came home from work, and instead of just running inside and putting his feet up, and after a long day at the office, he went and grabbed a glove, and we'd go outside and play catch in the backyard and swing the bat, and until it got too dark to do that, and we'd go inside and run in for dinner. So, he's been my best friend and my coach, and a guy that I've leaned on, and still to this day I still talk to about a lot of stuff with baseball and other stuff. So those two people, my wife and my dad, were definitely two of the people that I reached out to first and let know that we'd taken the final step along the journey of making it all the way to the major leagues.
Thanks to that young fan for an excellent question. Thanks to AJ for being honest and sharing those insights as well. I know we all can be touched by that and appreciate a story like that from a man like him. We go now to the EDJ question of the day. We've talked about Clayton Kershaw quite a bit as AJ catches him, and we know how special he is. But for you, AJ, what makes catching Kershaw different from catching other pitchers?
Wow. Man, that's a great question. I think what makes it different for him is the way that he brings an air of expectation to the team, the way that he shows up, the way he kind of prepares for the game. We all rise to that level, and we all want to compete on that same day, just like Clayton does, and pour our hearts and our souls into that game because we know that he's going to do so. So when you come to the ballpark every day, it's just a different feeling in the clubhouse because you know it's the day that Clayton's on the mound. As we prepare, as we go through our meetings, as Rick Honeycutt, Clayton, and myself sit down and talk about the opposing team, just the matter-of-factness, the way he's very direct and the way he describes how he wants to approach each hitter, how the seriousness that he is, the tone that he has, you know that he's locked in and ready for a special day. So you go out, you warm him up, you get him loose. He's firing on all cylinders, and then the game starts. And he attacks. He's on the attack. He's on the attack. He's on the attack. He's not somebody who shies away from contact. He's not somebody who nibbles around the edges. What makes Clayton different is his desire to always force the action. He wants to have the hitter swinging the bat. He wants early contact. He wants to put guys away right away when he gets 2 strikes. And so that aggressiveness, that way he carries himself on the mound, that's what sets him apart, I feel like, from other pitchers that I catch and other pitchers in all of baseball.
An answer from A.J. Ellis on what makes catching Clayton Kershaw so different, and great insights into how Clayton Kershaw approaches each and every start. A.J.'s in the cage for another minute or two as the fans join us. Yeah, fired up. What's your name, fan? What's your question for A.J.?
Hey, this is Cindy.
Go ahead, Cindy.
Hey, AJ. Excited to come to the game tonight, and just want to get your perspective, just from the player and catcher side, on what us Dodger fans can expect from Rich Hill's debut tonight.
Yeah, it's a great question. We're so excited to have Rich on the mound. We're so excited that he's going to be able to make his Dodger debut. I've been catching his bullpens, been watching the way that he works, and he's similar to Clayton in a lot of ways. The way he wants to be aggressive, the way he wants to attack the first pitch. He's got a great curveball. He mixes that in extremely well. But he's a guy who's going to throw a lot of strikes, be aggressive. It's pretty simple the way he goes about his business, but it's very aggressive. Like you, we're all excited to see him make his Dodger debut, and we're happy there's fans out there like you, Cindy, who are going to take the time to come out to the ballpark and watch us play. So thanks for coming out. Hopefully we can get you a big win tonight.
Great question from Cindy. Great answer from AJ. AJ, did you have a good time here in the cage? We try to make sure that happens.
Yeah, I love the chatting cage. Good to be in here with you guys, and the questions are awesome. But what's really great is to hear some of the voices from some of the fans out there who are taking the time to call in with some great insights, some great questions, and I hope I gave some good answers. But also great for me to kind of jog my memory and remember some of the great things about being a Dodger as well.
All right, absolutely. Well, we know that you and Cindy have things to do tonight. Get to that game, take care of Rich Hill, get things started. Thanks for being with us. As always, AJ Ellis 17 on Twitter. Check him out. Follow him. Very smart, very cool, very good baseball player right there. I want to thank the fans, as always, for being part of this Edward Jones Chatting Cage. We'll see you next time.